Bonjour, hola everyone. My name is Audrey Messiano, and in this Edmodo tutorial, I will teach teachers how to get set up on Edmodo. So the very first time you go to Edmodo, you are going to press this button, I'm a teacher. But just note, you will go to edmodo.com, spelled like this. However, if your school is a member of the subdomain, you would add an additional thing in your header with your www. So just know that. You need to know if your school is using a subdomain. It's a good idea. Okay? So once you are at the home page, you would click I'm a teacher. You're only going to do this the very first time. After that, you will be just using your username and password that you set up the first time. Okay, so I'm going to create a new account. I click I'm a teacher. You select your title if you'd like, and fill in your information. Make sure your password is something you will remember. Make sure you agree. And then you just be patient, okay? And then you want to find your school. It's a very good idea to get your profile set up right away, because if you don't and you're trying to join teacher groups, I know for a fact, because I own several teacher groups, the owner of teacher groups may not allow you to enter unless you have a complete profile and you prove that you are going to be an active, engaged participant, or Edmodian, as we like to say. Okay, so if you don't have a picture, if you don't have your school, if you don't have any connections with others, if you haven't shared anything, those are all things that the owners of groups are looking for, and the groups are a great way to grow your PLN, your Professional Learning Network, or your PLC, your Professional Learning Community, and to learn and grow as a professional. So I highly recommend taking some time to, one, find your school, then update your teacher profile, and then follow some communities and get started with sharing with others. Okay, for today I'm going to skip finding my school. But you need to do that. You would type in your name here of your school, and then if it's not found there, add it. Please make sure you do this step. I am skipping it, but make sure you do it. Once you are all set with that, oh, see, I don't think it's gonna let me skip it. All right, so here we go. Here's my school right here. So I'm going to click it right there. Now I can go on to the next step. So make sure, I guess you have to add your school. That's good. Okay, you want to add a real picture. Do not leave it blank. That is one thing I look for as an owner of a group. You are not invested in Edmodo unless you show yourself. Don't be anonymous. Make sure your teacher profile is professional. I've seen teachers that look half naked. That is not professional. If you have your puppy in front of you and you are wearing a tank top and you cannot see there's a tank top, that is not professional. I saw that yesterday. Okay? So make sure you have a professional image. I will choose one from my desktop. So I'm going here. No, I have one in here. So here it is. Click open. Okay. Once you have your image updated, click next step. These are some of the communities that might be relevant to you. Definitely join a community. I am a French and Spanish teacher, so I will definitely join World Languages. I am very techie and love technology, and there are several here I'm interested in, but I'm going to keep it to 2 just because I'm a beginner, and that's how maybe start small with ones that you really would participate in. Okay, so this is my home page. So since I followed those communities, I'm going to see those communities on my wall. And this here is my wall, okay? It's going to set you up. It's going to help you get started. So here it says, click to set up your Edmodo classroom. All right, so it's time to bring your class on board. Just click the plus icon to the left to create a group for you and your students. Once you've created your first group, you'll receive $5 in the store credit. So Edmodo has an app store. Okay, so creating your first student group is one thing that we'll learn about in another tutorial, okay? But I do want to show you this plus key. This is the very first most important thing. This plus key actually allows you to do two things, okay? We talked a little bit about teacher-created groups. You definitely want to check this out, okay? Teacher-created groups are amazing. You can join with professionals in your area of expertise from around the globe. And they help you because they give you free resources, ideas, generosity. Like, I have never seen a group like this before. So consider joining groups. I will give information on how to find information about teacher created groups along with this tutorial in my blog post. So just read the blog post and you will find out how to join groups created by teachers. Now normally you would be creating for students. We'll get to that later, as I said, but here I'm going to teach you how to join a group. Okay, so in order to join a group, you need one of two things. If you go in through here, you're going to need the code. So you click join. If you have a group code, you would enter it here. Okay, now don't try to use this code that I'm putting in here because I will be locking this group or changing the code, so you will not be able to enter this. I'm just showing you this as an example. Now group codes are not meant to be shared publicly. They are to be kept private. You give them to your students only that you want to enter your groups, and then you lock your group. You do not want outside people within your group. Edmodo is meant to be kept a safe environment for your students. So just a word to the wise, this is not something you would do normally. You would not share this on a video that you post to the internet unless you are changing it right away or you are just using a mock group. But at any rate, this is to be kept private. The other way of joining, which I'll talk about later, is not private, okay? And I'll explain that. So you enter your group code here, click join. It tells you you are joined successfully. If you have not joined successfully, it's usually because you mistyped. And to be honest, sometimes the O's look like zeros and the I's and L's sometimes get mixed up. So if you do not have group joined successfully, you need to just double guess your typing because usually that's what it is. That's what it has always been with my students. I would recommend asking them to copy paste if at all possible. That leaves the errors out. However, copy paste does sometimes add a space in front, and that can be an issue as well. Okay, so there's some tips to fixing group codes that may not work but should work. Okay, so now in my groups, I have this group that I just joined. So if I click on this group that I just joined, this is one of my teacher created groups that I have created for French and Spanish teachers of exploratory language. And you can see I have posted here from my normal profile, and you can see that there are folders and there are 152 members in this teacher created group. So I'm just going to show you around the group. Here are the folders. Now if the group is set up, you have folders. Okay, you have folders that tell who the folder is by. I see, tells who it's by. Here's my Edmodo help folder. So let me show you what a folder looks like. When you open a folder within a group, this is what you'll see. Okay, and you have all of these links that you can click on. And when you click on them, you will see them open up in front of you, just like this. So you might need to wait a minute for it to load. I'm going to move on. Oh, there we go. Okay, so that's folders. You can see who is in the group. So you can see the owner on top and then the members of the group. And you can also see the posts. The post is kind of like your feed. This is your wall post. Now, I don't want to give you too much information, so if you want to stop here, feel free. But I want to tell you quickly about a hyperlink join and then some ins and outs of the new Edmodo. So, if you want to join another group, but you have a hyperlink, you don't see the groups here. You don't see the join little plus sign here. So the rule of thumb is always to hit your home button. When you don't see something you like, try hitting home. It might help you. So if I click home, I'm going to see groups and I'm going to see a plus key. Now, this plus key will not work if I have a hyperlink to join. A hyperlink to join is not to be entered here. This is only for the group code. If you have a hyperlink, it will be much longer. It will start with an HTTP, I'm thinking, and it will be longer, okay? if you have a hyperlink that someone has provided you, that can be shared publicly. Hyperlinks are fine to share publicly because the owner of the group must allow each person to enter the group. So that owner, that group owner, will verify your account, make sure you are who you say you are, make sure you are a teacher, not a student if it's a teacher-created group, and then they will allow you to enter their group. They will probably check your profile, make sure you look invested like a good Edmodian. All of your things are in order. You have your school, you have your profile picture, you have shared, you have student groups, you have badges, all that jazz. So that's why it's important to set up your profile, okay? All right, so your hyperlink would actually go, and I'm going to just move this down. Your hyperlink would go right here. In fact, you would probably put it in a separate tab, and then you would paste it here. And when you paste it here, it will say request to join. However, it won't say request to join if you've already joined the group. So I'm going to show you what will happen if you've already joined the group. So this is what a hypercode looks like. I misspoke. It actually doesn't say HTTP anymore. They have shortened them into this handy short little hyperlink. So the hyperlinks for Edmodo now are edmo.do, then the gibberish behind it. Okay, so this is a hyperlink. Someone who wants you to join their group may give you a hyperlink instead of a group code. It can be shared publicly. That is okay, like I explained. The owner of the group will have to show you how to use it. Will have to allow you to enter, sorry. Okay, so I already joined this group. This is what happens when you try to join a group you've already joined. So it says you are requesting to join French Spanish Exploratory. We already joined that. If I had not already joined that, it would have a similar pop-up and it would say request to join. And you would just click request to join. However, I have already joined, so I can return home. Okay? So that is the difference between the hyperlink and the group code. Now, I'm just going to very briefly show you about filtering posts because this is something that I have had issues with, and now that I've figured it out, I want to share. It's very simple. It's not hard to figure out. You probably already know about it if you are already an established Edmodian, so this is really for the newbies. So over here, if you don't see it, click home, but if you see filter post by, you can filter everything you have written. You can filter and just see what your students have posted. You can see your direct messages. You can see what your connections have posted. Connections are like your Edmodo friends, okay? The teachers you have chosen to request to be connected with or who have chosen you. You can also show recent replies. To me, recent replies and direct are the most important because once you hide your replies or direct messages from your notifications, you will not see them in notifications. So this is where you would like to see them, right here, direct and recent replies. You can also filter by type of post. So if you know it was a poll that you wanted to see again, you would click poll, okay, etc., etc. All right, so this is an awful lot of information. Do not worry about all of this at once. The most important thing right now is that you get started, you set up your profile, and you maybe just get a little used to groups and posts. So the last thing I will show you really quickly is how to post. Hola, salut, just wanted to say have a great school year. I'm starting in a few days, so I'm going to send this to the group I'm a part just to show you how this works. Obviously, I probably wouldn't really post this. I would post something about a question I have about teaching exploratory, or I would post possibly something like a request. Does anybody have any first day videos about why to learn a language? And then I would hopefully get responses from those teachers in that group. So you would type it in here, you would choose the group you wanted to and click send. And then you will see it on the wall. Here it is. Now I don't want to keep that because it's not something I would post. I would just click delete. And voila, click OK. That's it. That's the ins and outs. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you. Adios. Merci. Au revoir.